All right, so today is a chat with myself and Richard Dettering. Richard is he's a cool guy. He's an online coach based out of Australia, and when he started working with us, he was doing around 15 grand a month, and we've taken him to $50,000 a month. And he wouldn't mind me saying this. He's a humble guy, but he wouldn't mind me saying that for sure. So this was cool. We kind of go through exactly what we did together as a bit of an overview of what I did and what I saw with Richard. He already had some good content going. He lacked a bit of a sales system, so we kind of revamped his sales system, revamped his offer, made it more expensive, and allowed him to, I guess, transcend a lot of the other coaches that were having different issues. And now we're at the point where he's trying to hit 100K months. So we're working on kind of bringing him out of the business a little more and working on like focusing on that. But for a lot of people, getting to 50 grand a month is a massive milestone. So hope you enjoy. There's a ton of value in here. Let's get started. I wanted to go back a little bit as well, and I want to talk through things you did well and like advice you would have in particular stages of the journey, and then also like going into mistakes. So
Yeah.
if we rewind back a bit to that 0 to 5K, do you want to give us a bit of context on where you were at that point when you like kind of just launching and hitting that 5K? So we'll just start with context, and then I'll kind of dig deep in terms of like what you did well and mistakes and stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I guess the biggest thing I did well and something that I would recommend to literally everyone that wants to get in the online space is start with content. Start with your social media. Don't even worry about thinking about coaching, all that kind of stuff. I started off by getting myself some help with content side of things, and I was consistent as fuck. I was posting every single day for 6 weeks, and I had one of my reels go viral. And during that 6 weeks, I was always looking for new things to post, different things to post, different approaches, and just having that point of difference. Because I see a lot of people, they post, multiple times a week, and their reels just don't go anywhere because they don't try and be different. That's
Yes.
what essentially that's what's gonna, help you stick out. And then yeah, so I don't want to say I got super lucky because I did do the work. I was consistent, but then yeah, one of my reels went viral. I gained thousands of followers from it. And then when I actually pitched, a lot of people were pretty ready to sign up already because I had a
Hmm.
pretty wide audience. The second best thing that I did before I actually pitched my what's it called? My product was posting personal transformations. And this is another big thing where coaches need to actually go through their own transformation if they haven't already. Before you launch your product, do a 12-week cut, do a, big bulk or whatever you're trying to promote. Because I was posting before and afters because I've been gymming for 11 years. So I have a lot of before and after pictures. I've been fat, I've been skinny, I've been muscly, all this kind of stuff. And a lot of
Hmm.
people that signed up were like, wow, I saw that you could do it yourself. And that was enough for them to trust me as a coach
Yeah,
initially.
100%.
So
Because you're
when I
showing them those testimonials that you've done.
Yeah, exactly. And then another thing was having a niche really early on. I found my niche super early on. So when I was pitching a product, I was pitching to a very, very select few, not select few people, but it was very niche down.
Is that always the
So
FIFO guys?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't even remember. I wish I had a bit more of a documented approach to what I did. I don't know when I hit, 5K a month, 10K a month, whatever that is, because I was just so into it, just absolutely smashing it, signing people up. But I feel like it was a slow burn, and I think within about 2 or 3 months, I got to that 5K uh, per month mark by just signing people up.
Just been going crazy. I want to break that down to a couple of things because content is huge, and I think
Yeah.
that's a really important thing. What I get people to do when they join is I get them to just get all the systems and their offer and stuff over and done with because I've seen people stretch that out, whereas you're quite like relentless, I feel. So you just would have smashed it. But I think a lot of people
Yeah.
stretch it out. So like usually we go like get the coaching ready and then pump content. So like I'm glad you said that about the consistency of content because that's massive and trying to find something that's different and like showcase something that's different about you. And that worked really well for you as well. Were
Yeah.
you quite like aggressive when it came to promoting your coaching at that time in the early days, or you were just
No,
pretty chill because the people were there?
the people were there. Yeah.
If they
I think
weren't there,
maybe
would you
maybe
do something
once.
different?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely would post about it a lot more. And that's something that I'm noticing now with this event that I'm hosting, the deadlift day. I'm still messaging people now like, hey man, I'd be keen to, see you at this event. And they're like, oh, what is this? When's it happening? And I've been posting about it on my stories like 2, 3 times a week. posted 2 reels about it, all this kind of stuff. People don't see your shit. So be aggressive with it, be weird about it, be different, post on your stories, do it multiple times a week. For me, it was more I can't remember. I think it was like people just started talking about it a lot. And then, it sort of formed like that where people were like, "Oh, you're coaching now. Do you reckon I could sign up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And it just jumped on. I think I had like 5 or 6 people at my work sign up. So,
Crazy.
that really got the ball rolling. But I think I might have posted about it like, yeah, two times a week at the most on
Yep.
my
And
story.
you had people that were actually like responding and they were there and they were watching, which is like it's a pretty
Yeah,
good
people were
place to be
putting
in.
Yeah, exactly. It was a really good place to be in. I had a lot of people like go through my profile, and especially on TikTok as well. I had a few things go viral there, so I just had my coaching inquiry link in the bio there. A lot of people would come through that, and then yeah, I just messaged them and pitched them my product. I did it in the DMs all the way up until I signed up with you.
Mm.
And with that as well, if people want to do that, that's fine. Originally, if you're just pitching a low ticket service, that is fine. What I did is I wrote out a huge thing on what's included, how do I go about it, what do you get? And it's just in my notes. So I would just copy and paste that in every time. And down the very bottom, it would say the price. So they would, start reading through and they would already get keen for everything. By the time they get to the bottom, that's when they get the price.
You
But
value stack them like that in just in the note format. Yeah. And if
exactly.
you didn't have that, like if you didn't have the people that were ready to sign up and people that are actually watching and responding to call to actions and things like that, what would you have done, knowing what you know now? What would you have done around that mark where you're like, I just need clients right now?
Don't focus on that. Don't even focus on I need clients right now because if you're doing things right, they will come. And this is something that I
Yep.
noticed time and time again throughout this journey is when I was posting stupid stuff, when I was posting that I was on holiday or this or that, when I wasn't adding value, um, then my coaching inquiries just went down. I even had a couple people leave at times. So when I was posting relatable stuff, when I was posting on my stories, talking on my stories, that's when all of a sudden you get a whole bunch of coaching inquiries come in. And for me, a really easy way to do that was just to do a Q&A. So I would just hit up a Q&A, put the anonymous link there, get people to ask through questions, because then you can easily just record it on your phone, just selfie style.
Mm,
Because when you're answering questions, something that I found is that people actually listen. Whereas if you're just talking on your phone, just la-di-da, no worries, a lot of people don't listen. They're like, oh, this guy's talking, skip. But if there's a question and it might be relevant to them, then they might be
it's
like, oh, that's
context.
going to listen. Yeah. And something cheeky as well is you can ask yourself questions. I've done that before
Yeah.
as well. Like I've just gone, how much is your coaching? And then I've just answered it like, oh, thanks for asking about my
Yeah.
coaching. I
It
asked that question.
it shows people what you want to show them and what you
Yeah,
wanted to think people
exactly.
are talking about.
And you can also
What's
frame things very well like that because you can have certain questions that have been asked that are super specific to what you're trying to offer. So
yes.
then go and answer that, and then the people that relate to that go, "Oh, whoa, okay," stuff like that. And even just talking about your own experiences, like I was talking about a surgery that I had, and I think 2 people that I signed up were like, "Oh, by the way, I saw your story about that. I've actually had the same procedure done." So just being
It's
on your story,
relatability, right?
present.
It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, I think a lot of the new guys, that's exactly right. A lot of the new guys, they think they have to post this textbook stuff, yet they end up being the same as everyone else. So like that's what
yeah.
we try and encourage them to do is like be different, be unique, and like be yourself out there so people can actually go and resonate with
Yeah.
that and then go, oh, that's cool. We provide something. Let's go to at that time as well, just to finish off the beginner stage. Were there any mistakes that you think you made that you wish you, knowing what you know now, you could go back and go, ah, probably wouldn't have done that?
Yeah, selling people in the DMs. That was one of the
Yeah.
biggest things I noticed. Um, Originally, I didn't actually notice because I was getting, people DM me. A lot of them weren't even coaching inquiries. So I would just get people DM me, just being like, hey, man, what do you offer? And because I was getting so many other DMs or I was focused on a lot of different things, I didn't realize that people never responded or I didn't realize that people left me on scene or whatever. And this was even after having like an awesome conversation with them. People forget and people
Hmm.
ghost you for no reason. And that's what I've learned now with these DM setters is the reach out. So if you are going to sell in the DMs, have a spreadsheet so you can go back and be like, hey man, did you get my last message? What do you think? Because every now and again I'd be I don't know, scrolling through a message or searching up something, and I'm like, I come across someone, I'm like, oh, I remember having a really good chat with them. go on there, seen, or not even seen. So,
Mm,
there's all these potential sales that I could have had where I didn't even notice myself that these people have literally ghosted me or forgotten about it. Like a lot of people
yeah.
just aren't on their phone. They don't care. You might be in the general folder and they don't even check that. So, yeah, if you're going to sell in the DMs, make sure you have a spreadsheet. Update it. You've reached out to them once. This is the name. And then once a week, put aside an hour to reach out to these people because I've even booked people on calls, or my DM setters have booked people on calls where it's the fourth message. They've reached out like four
Yes.
times afterwards, and this guy's like, "Oh, hey man, sorry, I've been busy," and then
Yeah.
boom, book
I've
call and
I've had like
close.
six. One of the funniest ones. I've had like six messages went out from me, like one-way
Yeah,
messages, and then one of them was like a really funny gift to finish it, and that got them back in. They're like, "Aha, so sorry," blah blah blah, whatever the excuse was, but it
yeah,
allowed them to open that back up again. And you think,
yeah.
and they're closed, and it's like you think that if that was you and someone had sent six in a row, you'd be like, "I'm done here," but they still
It's
closed it.
cringe. It's so cringe.
I know it's
So,
nuts.
but yeah, 100%. So if you do have that one, have that spreadsheet so you know who you've reached out to. Or two, yeah, just book people on calls, like actually sell on a call.
That brings us to a good a good segue to the next point because that's the next thing was going from that like midpoint to where you are now. So like that 10K a month, 15K a month. I think you were doing just a bit over that when you joined
Yeah,
to where you are now, 30, 40 kind of months. I
yeah,
want to go into what we've done together, but really like this is you're doing the work here. So I want to talk about
yeah,
things you've done really well because you started when we started working together and talking, you were just doing the DM selling, like just through the DMs. One of the
yeah,
biggest things we did was get you to do calls and actually start taking calls and things like that. So
yeah.
let's talk about what you've been doing well, how the business has improved, how you've improved, but just learning from everything, your
Yeah.
experience, the program, everything.
Yeah,
Some
of
tips
course.
for
I guess
people.
from the day I signed up, you guys had a very clear layout for me and what you wanted me to do. I was obviously already a bit ahead of modules 1, 2, and 3. So I remember you being like, start at module 4. It's creating a high ticket offer, and I literally did that. I had my girlfriend come in the room a few times, being like, "It's literally 6 p.m. Like, let's log off. It's been 13 hours that you've been sitting there."
Yeah,
But
you smashed that. I remember.
I watched the modules. I applied that to what I wanted to do. I messaged you. I harassed you a bit, and that's another thing. I'm obviously you can comment on this more than me because I don't have I don't see this, but I don't know if enough people are actually messaging you or Charlie or whoever to reach out and ask for help. So that's another big tip that I have is when you have a question that is relevant and that you know is going to help you progress with where you're at, ask the question. Just reach out. Don't be stupid and ask, what you're eating for dinner, because then you'll just get angry about it. But like certain things just require a quick text message. So I just sent it to you, and that allowed me to move further and get this shit done, get it set up, get it ready. And then yeah, I started taking calls with people. So one of the biggest improvements there again was my sales techniques and actually, going through and doing that properly. And again, I reached out to the right people. I've asked Orlando for some help with that, and he's always good to help. Like he's such a good bloke. And then, you posted the sales call, the mock one. I think I've watched that
Yep.
20 times. I would literally, in between calls, I would watch a segment of that when I
Yeah.
know I fucked up in the previous call. I'm like, well, how did Orlando do this? How did he handle?
Ah,
So I would
that's
literally
great.
sit there in between calls, just watching that and just, reiterate that in my brain and then go into the next call with a bit more knowledge.
We're
So
doing
yeah, that's like, yeah,
we're doing a lot more. He's going to do more in-depth training on that too, like specific modules for like
yeah,
specific objections and stuff, which I think will be helpful.
yeah,
But you
that'd be
just
awesome.
like reeled off three really cool things there. So like, I want to start with the offer because you basically revamped your offer. So like for people who
Yeah.
don't really see the point or difference in having something that's like, oh my, here's my coaching versus what we would consider a really good offer. So how would you kind of give some tips or advice on the importance of revamping, like really making your offer quite good? Like, what have you figured out?
Well, something that I've noticed, and you've also pointed this out to me, I didn't know that this was a bit of a rarity, but people actually that I didn't sign up on the call message me back and be like, hey man, I've actually had a look, had to think about it, and I'm keen to jump on. And I really like when I think about it, I bring that back to the offer just being solid as fuck. First of all, me presenting it, being confident with the offer, and presenting it in a way where I'm like, you get this, and this is cool, and like this is how we attack this. And I also ask questions during the pitch Like I'm like, you get a workout plan, but what sort of gym are you at? Or where do you train in Perth? Or what's the gym like on site? And they go, oh, the gym's kind of shit. And then I go, well, actually, we tailor this to what you have available to you. And then the bonus
So,
offers as
so
well.
that's two things. That's the pitch deck that you've like kind of structured in the way to like handle objections before they get to it. Because like you're taking them through all the value in the nice order of the pitch deck and then going like, oh, so on that and making sure you tick the box that they love it. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%. And just asking them questions throughout it. So they're not just sitting there being like, just like different things that I really had to relearn or reteach myself to be okay with just saying the exact same shit in the same spot. Because I'm like, wait a minute, this is a completely different person. I can ask them the exact same question at the exact same spot, and I know that I'll get a response from them to already, sell them on that product. But now revamping things and just adding really good value or perceived value has allowed me to actually get people to sign up even after they've dropped the call. They've gone, you know what, this guy's actually got a really cool offer. Everything's included.
The
And it
bonuses,
will
things like
help me.
that. Like that's what you added in there too.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And even I've just had people tell me on the call, like, fuck, this is sick. Like, I've never had a coach that's actually gives a fuck to, offer this or offer that, throw this in, that kind of thing. So just having an offer or creating this awesome package, just shows that it's a point of difference again. Because these
Yeah.
people might be, they might inquire with one or two other coaches and they might just be selling in the DMs and yeah, there's
And
just
it
no
seems
person.
basic. It seems bland, right? So
Exactly.
what did you do to try and like make your offer stand out? Just you don't have to go fully in the specifics, but like what were some things that you had to kind of workshop and think about to really make the offer what it is?
Yeah, I think the hardest bit about it was figuring out the bonuses to throw in. And although I don't use the bonuses too much, I have a separate offer without the bonuses. I judge the person now
Yes.
with what they want, and I'm pretty good with it to know if they will be keen on the bonuses or not. But I think just going into depth about what's included and why. I think that's been a really good thing because I go in and I just split it up. I show them that, they get their workout, they get nutrition, like the meal plan and a supplement plan, and then the weekly check-ins. And I sort of give them a little bit of value throughout that as well and tell them, the weekly check-ins, this is why we do them. This is why they're important, all that kind of stuff. So it gives them something to even just walk away from the call
And
with that.
yeah, for sure, because what doing that, like building out that offer to make sure that you thought, yep, this is solid, that allowed us to increase your price, right? So then that was
Yeah.
like the next thing we did was like increase your price. What was it before? What were you selling it before? I can't remember.
$85 a week.
And then what is it now? Is it 170 you said?
175, yeah. That's the top offer. It's
Oh,
it's
so
it's
you
between
doubled.
140 between 140 and 175, depending on if it's the high ticket or the one without the bonuses.
Yes. And I think that's cool too because like it also adds a premium to it too. So like if that was 20 bucks a week, the offer wouldn't seem as nice anymore because it's like, oh, they can't be that good. So like I
Yeah,
think you added that premium factor and because it's expensive, well, you can't do that in the DMs anymore. So then you have to switch to the sales. So like building the good offer and then increasing the value of it and then also having to then learn the sales skills to convert that. I think that played probably what I thought would be the biggest role in like that the revenue generation, right?
yeah, 100%. Yeah. And even just having a paid in full option, that's something that I never had before. Obviously, that's really pushed me up into, I think the biggest week was 17K. And that was when I had, three or four people sign up and pay in full because then they're committed. Then they're committed for that period of time. I have a couple of blokes where I'm like, oh, like you're sort of dropping off a
Yeah,
bit. They've paid in full, so I don't have to. It's not a stress on me to be like, fuck, I need to like
chase
make sure
money.
you guys are doing really well because they've already paid, and I know that I'm going to have them for this X amount of time. As long as we keep them, heading in the right direction, they don't need to really right now be crushing it because they're already committed for another 3, 4 months or whatever it is.
Yeah, and I think you forget too the advantage you have over so many other coaches is like most other coaches, they would love to charge 170 a week, except they're
Yeah,
charging 60 a week because they can't pay in full. They can't charge in full because they can't jump on a sales call because they don't have the skills.
yeah,
So the fact that you've like gone from like, okay, I haven't taken a sales call to then going, I'm going to make a pitch deck, I'm going to use the scripts, I'm going to like create my scripts and get better at selling, I think is
yeah.
really commendable because like
Oh yeah, I
it
threw
makes
myself
sense.
in the
You've done
deep
it.
end hard.
Yeah. And it
I
worked.
was sweating on the first calls, like, and the worst thing or the funniest thing is the very first sales call I ever took, the guy muted himself halfway through and then left the call.
I
And I
remember.
was
I remember you
talking to
texting me. You're
myself.
like, "This is just what happened."
Yeah, I was talking to myself. I kept going through the pitch. I was like, no, I'm gonna keep going. He's just muted himself. And then I was like, I had a look and I was like, yep, okay, I've been talking to
Left the
myself
chat.
for a minute here. And he blocked me on TikTok. He like blocked me everywhere. I was like, whoa, what the fuck was that?
I remember saying to you like, "Dude, that does not happen. It's not normal. It's it's
Yeah,
a
you were like,
rarity."
what? I've never had that. Yeah. No, that was
That was,
wild. That was
but
very
you kept
wild.
going, like you kept going through it, which
Yeah.
is like sick to see. So that's cool. It's been so sick to see like you do the stuff because you literally just you and there's a few other people that I think really testament to like learning and working through it and just like sticking to the project until you get good at it and seeing it through and moving on. So like you've done a
Yeah.
sick job at doing getting help, getting the offer done, learning how to sell, increasing the price and the value and things like that. And this is obviously like it's still work in progress. Next for you, what do you reckon is next to hit that, 50K months, 60K months? I mean, we basically just launched the ads as well, like now, right?
Yeah, that's only been a month or two. No, it's been this is the second month now, so
Yep.
it's still very fresh. But I think for me, it's implementing a team now.
Team.
Obviously, I've already
Yep.
got some DM setters. I've already got a VA doing the back end kind of stuff. But yeah, for me, it's going to be just having those people working under me now, so I can literally sell them on the call and then literally just palm them off, like give them straight to someone else to do. And then
Yes.
yeah, just work like that. That's going to be the next
I'm
step.
I'm excited for getting fat. So what are we gonna do is finals. That's what I reckon we'll do after. So you've got some
Hmm.
different points to send people.
Yeah,
The ads as well, which we'll get better at and just keep refining, and
yeah,
then the team. So you're keen
yeah.
to get fat?
100%. Let's get fat. We're in the off season now anyway, so this is okay.
That's sick though, because like the team will be your fulfillment. So the coaching, you got sub coaches underneath you. You'll have
Yeah,
the DM setting team, the sales team as well, taking the calls and closing,
yeah.
which I'm really excited for. And then I'm literally building out the funnels module like now, just so that we can get you that, so it's super easy, and we can get you some
Yeah,
like
cool.
just extra stuff on the side. Um, any mistakes you reckon you've made in the last maybe, I don't know, 6 months that you think would be good if you could fix that for some of the guys that are coming up to that path?
Yeah, not signing up earlier.
Love that.
I think the biggest mistake I made was, and this is a super personal one, is just letting people off the call without actually getting them to sign up. That was one of the biggest things. I think I honestly lost 4 or 5 potential high ticket closers because they were super keen. They were ready to sign up, but I just didn't have that one line or didn't have that like finishing closing sentence to get them to sign up on the call before they left, had a chat with their wife, yeah, all that kind of stuff.
So what
Whatever
is it
reason.
now? What are you been trying to use now that helps?
I just let them know. I just go, yeah, sick. No, that's awesome, man. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a link on Instagram. And then what I get you to do is just fill that in for me. It'll take you to a confirmation screen. Once that comes up, man, just let me know. And then, yeah, we can get things going. And then
Mm.
the worst thing is when they go, yeah. And I'm like, no, you do it right now. You got to do it. I've asked you to do it
Yeah.
right now. And they're just looking at me and I'm like, oh no, this is going to be difficult. A lot of people go, yeah, yeah, cool, that's come through. And then they start filling it in. And then it's just that, like, just sitting here. I make sure I have a drink so I can just do
You got
something.
something to do.
And again, yeah.
It's
Um,
it's funny how systemized you got to get it to that point where like you know
yeah,
exactly how they're going to feel like, oh, do I have to do this now? And then you got to act surprised going, oh, yeah. Everyone is like now is like would be great.
yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, there's still a couple of people that slip through the cracks, but and that's where I just have to get better at that side of things. Um, but yeah, no, I think that's been the biggest mistake for me. I lost guys that
Mm.
were super fucking keen, and then they just overthink it, and you can't get them back from that
Yeah.
at all.
So
So
don't let people off the call too early is what you
yeah,
probably try and change.
yeah. One thing. I'm getting a call from a doctor right now. He just needs to give me my script. Is there anything else that we wanted to go through? Can we
Dude,
pause this
that's
for a second?
done. No, that we actually
Ah,
can wrap. That's perfect. Yeah. Thanks heaps,
awesome,
brother.
man.
That's so helpful.
No worries. I'll speak to you
All right.
soon.
See you, Richard.
See
Cheers,
ya.
bro. Bye.